old. Okay, so not only are a lot of people falling through the cracks of the social welfare system that was supposedly set up to help people, now it becomes an industry in and of itself. Now, if you ended poverty, all these people that are employed, and we all know the vast majority of funding for social welfare services goes to administrative costs, right? The employees and the retirements and the benefits and all this. So all these people would be out of work. Do you understand the madness, the abject madness I'm talking about here? And the same for the crime industrial complex. All these prisons, the prison industrial complex, all the people that are in the system that, hey, if they ended poverty and crime suddenly plummeted to almost nothing, all these people would be unemployed. You see what I'm saying here? Do you see the madness of the system? The same with the dubious war. They're not going to be able to get these wars. People will go off for free to the right cause. Men will go fight and die for free to kick Hitler's butt. That sort of thing. But these dubious wars where we got 22 veterans a day coming home and taking their own lives, those things aren't going to exist anymore. No, what happened to these guys? What did they see over there? What did they do? What happened? How could they be filled with so much remorse? These brave, valiant, honorable warriors, young men and women that are going off to war. What is going on here? This is satanic, folks. This is what we got to understand. The time is short for Satan. He's unleashed all the demons from the pit of hell he can. So this is how we're being refined by this fire. People are utterly possessed and they don't even know it. They don't know where to turn. Well, I'm telling you where to turn, to Jesus Christ. Say, God help me. If I'm deceived, please put me on the right track. With this presidency, this election, let your will be done, God. Please don't let us fall into the hands of some horrible tyrant. If it's Trump, don't allow that to happen. If it's Hillary, don't allow that to happen. If Obama's got designs on staying in there by creating some executive crisis, don't let that happen. Help us, God. We need you. That's mainly what we all need to do in concert. And say, convict me if I'm wrong, enlighten me. I can admit when I'm wrong, because it doesn't show that I'm not as smart as somebody else. It just shows I was tricked, I was cheated, I was deceived. That's not an immoral deficiency. It's not a moral deficiency. That's not an intelligence deficiency. That just means you were tricked. This stuff's been going on since the dawn of creation. We've been falling under these spells of these tricksters. That's what they are. They're like sorcerers. That's why I so often supplant the term inventing our problems with conjuring them up, because that's essentially what they do through their trickery. They think they're so damn much smarter than everybody else. We've got to let them know they're not. And he pointed to A, B, C, D. Let's talk about the debt now. What's this all about? How come these people that keep telling us that we got this huge soaring national debt are all okay with it? Obama says raising the debt, he's more than doubled it since he's been in office? How this doesn't actually raise the national debt? I mean, what kind of Babylonian speech is that? Okay, it's reached absurdist levels now, where it's so blatant and obvious and in our faces that even the most foolish of people, even the stupidest of people, can understand the glaring, nonsense, the illogic doublespeak out there, illogical doublespeak that's taking place. And they're saying, just believe it, go along with it, just be on the right side. Hey, you got a 401k, or you're invested in the system, you got common sense, so you just keep rooting for it. Keep rooting for the success. Don't be foolish, be pragmatic. Want the system to see. Don't be anti-establishmentarian. This is what's, why America's so great, because we've got a disappearing home ownership. That's what makes it great. When that's the greatest measure of prosperity, it's disappearing. California is leading the way. The evidence for increasing tyranny through financial means is obvious. That's what the oppression is. It's obvious of what they're doing here, and the debt. Okay, how's it getting repaid? With our gross domestic product, the GDP, because we've got so many factories and industry that's pumping out stuff. We used to. And so we could trade with other nations and we could pull ourselves out of this debt, this slump, and get these bills repaid so we get back in the black. Okay, is that going to happen with the GDP? We know it can't happen. Not on the course where the trajectory we're on now. It'll never happen. So Trump's talking about these trade deals, of course. This is one idea, but we can't nibble around the edges. We've got to go for the jugular. We want all these things. What we need above all is sound money. Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or Obama, whoever is the next president, needs to understand this and take the bull by the horns. That means gaining control of the money printing presses, which of course controls all the digital presses out there. Remember, it's all measured in dollars. All your highly fungible assets, medium fungible assets, and barely fungible assets are all denoted in dollars, right? Federal Reserve notes. So it's all measured up against the dollar, the printed dollar. These people say, oh, there are no trillionaires. Really? Well, let me ask you, if you own the copyright, which is, these people own the copyright, the Federal Reserve Bank, the central bank, and to this day, the Federal Reserve dollar is still the world reserve currency. This is the preferred currency. This is the one people are buying into above all else. They're still buying it. As debased and destroyed as it is, this is still better than so many others that have been debased and destroyed even more around the world, evidently. But, I mean, we're getting pretty close to a breaking point here. But you understand that these people are trillionaires. They're quadrillionaires. Whatever heirs they want to be, they can be because they own it all. So they can buy all the services, all the commodities out there in perpetuity. How is that okay? How is that right? That should belong to only one group of people, and that is we the people. Not some of the people, all the people. And how do you do that? You establish reality from the start. That's the only way. People have to be allotted their share in the planet from the start. So if we're going to play this Wall Street game where you got stocks and shares, well, you've got to give people from birth shares and stocks. So that's the only way you can be free if you're going to play this stupid, ridiculous game that so many people take so seriously. I mean, how much of every one of our days revolve around thinking about making money, paying bills, and, oh, do I have enough money to buy that thing? Or do I have enough money to go here or there or do this thing? Do I have enough money to give to this cause or that cause? Every day. Am I running out of money? Do I feel that impending, that fear, that, that's where they like us. This is their pseudo form of reverence. You see, by keeping people afraid, they get homage. That's how they like. They like you. It's very terrible, terrifying, intimidating. That's what tyranny is. That's what oppression is. And their method of operation, the modus operandi, the MO, is the money. It's Satan. That's all. It's a satanic power. It really is. And we've all got to get it. I get it. Anybody that watch any of my videos knows I get it. That doesn't mean I'm above being deceived. It doesn't mean I'm not wrong sometimes. It doesn't mean I'm not a sinner sometimes. All I know is that I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm laying it all on the line out there because I can't enjoy the stuff I have. Okay, I tell you what, I mean, I'm very grateful. Believe me, I've got a very well-running work vehicle, well-running car, and I'm very grateful for those things. I don't care how many miles are on them or how old they are. They work great. If you take care of your stuff, it can last and last and last. Let me tell you, I like old stuff. I love driving my 1977 GMC. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Okay, it's very nostalgic. I love driving a vehicle that was made before, while Elvis Presley was still alive, for example. And, it's very cool. I mean, both my vehicles are 20th century vehicles. It's easy to get a 21st century vehicle, but I love my 20th century vehicles. It's not so easy to find a well-running 20th century vehicle. So, not only are my vehicles turning classic, but my van eventually, it's going to be considered an antique. Guys are going to, love to get a hold of that thing, cherry it out, and, take it to car shows. But you see, the idea that I could enjoy being fabulously wealthy is I'm far removed from it, okay? As far as the East is from the West, I'm over it. I can see the end from the beginning, just as any thinking person can, and I can say, no, I can't enjoy it. If I could take all my brothers and sisters with me, if I could say, no, I'll give up all those millions or billions, whatever being fabulously wealthy means to you, just so that guy doesn't die out on the street. I want to stay there. I want to be there. I want to be in that place right now. So I want us to be able to surrender all my possessions today and say, God, if that's what you want, let it happen. Because I feel guilty as hell for the stuff that I have while that guy's going to die out on the street. Yes, I care. Yes, I love. Yes, I want to be right with you. I want to be able to stand before the judgment seat of God someday. And I'm a little concerned for my own salvation that I'm not going to be able to do it. And I know, And anybody that's heard me speak, knows I'm an egalitarian guy, man. I want the best for everybody. I see us all as equal. I don't want to be better than anybody. I don't see any profit in that, any benefit. I'm not talking about money profit. I'm talking about any profit. I'm a big man on campus. My ego, my pride. I don't see it. No, I don't want to be that person. I want to be who I want to be, and that's somebody that's approved from on high. So I want everybody else, I want the things I'm trying to convey, I want other people to adopt those beliefs because they come from him. I want us all to lay it all on the line and say, he's right. I don't care about being a billionaire. I want to give the vast majority, even if I'm really financially insecure, if I keep a few $1,000,000 and if I live frugally, I'm going to be fine. I'll still have a lot more security than the vast majority of people. So yeah, the Trumps and all these other multi-billionaires out there, yeah, give it all away, man. Give it all away. Do it in roundabout ways, like this guy that started this LinkedIn social media group. He shares all his profits from that company with his employees. They love the guy. He's paying them like $70,000 a year, and that's what he's getting. Great, fantastic. That's how it all ought to work. Because it's like the velocity of currency on the Kaiser report. He was touching on this recently, talking about Keynesianism, and the governments don't want to understand. It's Keynesianism for them, right? They're all talk about entitled class. It's okay for us to print as much as we want, just so we circulate it, keep it among ourselves. But we can't let everybody and his brother stick his hand in the cookie jar. But if they were, people would start feeling secure. We got to start by letting the rich feel secure. Then the middle class, when they see their currency going up in worth, their level of security is going to go through the roof. Their level of freedom, their sense of freedom. Okay, when they see their currency going up in worth relative to labor, don't worry about giving cost of living adjustments and pay raises to your employees. They're not going to care. They're not going to need it with sound money as it increases in worth naturally through supply and demand principles. That's what would happen. So as everybody feels more secure, and the poor especially, imagine how good it's going to feel someday. It's all coming, because I'm just talking about means to the end. So, one way or another, if it takes the return of Jesus for this whole thing to happen, one way or another, it's going to happen eventually. The captives are going to be set free, and the closer we are already for that to happen, the better off we are. The more free we can be, at least in our own heart and mind, our spirit and soul. We're pure of heart. We are well-wishers. We want the best for everybody. We want God's will to be established on earth. We hunger and thirst for that to happen. We want Jesus to rule over the affairs of men. He's not a harsh taskmaster. It's easy. His yoke is easy. His load is light. He wants friends, loyal friends, proper representatives, proper reflections of his goodness. He wants us to share it with others and win more friends for him. And if we do that, we're a success. Our treasures are in line with his. We're on the same page. If we reach out to others and let them know, hey, don't buy the hype. You're not just another warm body, okay? You're not destroying the earth. That, in fact, the opposite is true. You are a precious, indispensable, integral treasure to God. You're like a collector's item, one of a kind, okay? Worth more than many sparrows, as it's written in the Bible. He's numbered the hairs of your head. What parent can, touch that? You can't. You can't. Okay? And that should be very comforting knowledge to us and all the parents out there. Okay? And people that have had dreams like the one I described earlier about their own kid. It's just, unthinkable horrors can happen to us in life. And God allows these things to happen. But he's there to comfort us. He's there to tell you, look, your child is safe in my arms. I love your child infinitely more than you can even imagine. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, it's not going to help you. Be at peace. Spread love. Share love. Let those around you know you love them. Let strangers know you love them. Just by showing you care about them. You don't have to come out and tell everybody, oh, I love you, I love you. I care about you. I want the best for you. I am not the guy that's going to withhold any good thing from you. And I learned it from this source, from him. And what does he want for you? I know what he wants for you. He makes his will very clear. It's the enemy of our soul that makes it unclear. That's the accuser This is the one that doesn't want to forgive you. He wants to call you a phony. He wants to confuse you. He wants you ignorant and disempowered. The enemy of your soul is Satan and the spirit thereof, and all these workers of darkness, the ones that are deliberately doing it, the deliberate deceivers, and the inadvertent ones that are just deceived but going along with it,